What's up, everybody? I would like to start off by saying that this video is not intended to throw any shade or to claim that one build is better than the other. It's simply to educate players on the weaknesses of tank builds, or builds in general, that are heavily reliant on relic use. As we all know, instances in this game are randomly generated, including the boss fights. On Apocalypse difficulty, the bosses can roll with up to 2 different fixes that will determine how you approach the fight. I'll be addressing the bosses that roll with the empathy affix. To start, I'll be using a tank build by a content creator by the name of Vashkawai. Apologies if I mispronounced the name. Now, this build is probably the tankiest build thus far without the use of any exploits. This is just a brief overview of the gear that is used. For a full explanation and breakdown of the build, I'll leave a link in the description. On Relic Use, you will reach the 80% damage reduction cap. Now, this build does exactly what it's intended to do, which is tank everything, and I mean everything, without even the need to dodge. With this build, you can probably beat most bosses in this game. However, like most tank builds, it has a potential weakness, and that is the constant relic use. It's unavoidable that players will eventually reach a wall against bosses with the empathy affix. Worse, if they roll with the empathy and regenerator affix, where not only are they constantly healing, but every time you use a relic to heal, the boss heals as well. Now, you can apply bleed or corrosive status effect to reduce the boss's healing, as well as increase your own damage by like 10%, but because of the lack of DPS and the constant relic use, you'll find that you aren't doing any damage with the boss. In this fight with the Red Prince, he has the Hardy and Empathy affix, meaning he has increased health and defense, and he heals every time I heal. And on top of that, this particular boss applies a curse debuff with a maximum of 5 stacks. At maximum stacks, it cuts your health in half. Even though this fight just started, you can already tell that I'm not getting anywhere in regards to his health. I've been fighting him for a little over a minute and his health is full. Even though I'm taking all his hits, I'm simply not getting anywhere. So what do? I try switching my secondary subclass to the Hunter subclass to see if I can do more damage to outdo his healing. Unfortunately, that change alone doesn't give me enough DPS to overcome his healing and his high health. I still have to make other adjustments so that I can put a dent to his health. The constant need to use the relic to heal and to give me bonus damage reduction is severely hampering my progress. This is becoming just a stalemate. I'm not going down, and at the same time, I'm not doing enough damage to him. Even though I'm constantly applying the bleed status effect to reduce his healing, as well as the occasional corrosive so that I do more damage, I'm still not getting anywhere. Now, I fast forward this a little bit because this goes on for about 5 minutes of us going back and forth. I'm healing, he's healing, and I'm just simply not getting anywhere. Initially, I thought, you know what, I need to find a way to give myself more DPS so that I can at least progress in this boss fight. So I switched out 3 of my rings. I equipped Zanya's Malice for more weak spot damage, Probability Card for more crit damage, and used the Ring of Omen for more mobility since the Crystal Heart impedes my movement. After making those changes, I realized that my health went from 201 to 166, which is not really a significant difference, but I just sacrificed health to gain more DPS to no avail, because by the end of this flurry, this back and forth, he's still at full health. Now, most new players using this build will hit this wall and not really know how to counter it unless they've been playing this game for hours. Now, the issue is not my DPS, it's simply the fact that I'm constantly using that relic, and as I'm using the relic, once again, the boss is healing. So it's just a constant back and forth, dragging this boss fight out for minutes. Now I fast forward this again because, like I said, it just goes back and forth with no progress being made. So now I need to figure out a way to heal myself without constantly needing to use a relic. So to accomplish that, I switched out 3 of my rings, as well as the relic. I used the Indignant Fetish amulet for 25% more damage and 10% damage reduction, the steel ring for the best possible dodge, the rerouting cable for shield on stamina, and the generating band that heals me for 3% of my health while I have a shield active. After making these changes, I have roughly 5% less damage reduction and lost about 35 health, but it will allow me to heal without using the relic. With this setup, all I have to do is roll and I'll get a shield as well as getting my health back. This is the solution for this specific boss fight. However, because of these changes, I am no longer able to tank everything like the original build was intended. Were I fighting a different boss who is capable of one-shotting but had the same affixes, I would need to rely more on dodging as opposed to tanking those big attacks. I'll speed this up a little since it goes on for about 5 minutes or so. During this fast forward, I would like you to pay attention to the boss's health as well as my own. You will notice that I am chipping away at his health little by little while maintaining full health. Well, technically half health since I had max stacks of the curse debuff. After making all these changes, tweaking the build so that I no longer needed to rely on the relic for heals, while I could have killed him, I still felt like something was missing or lacking. I'll be posting another video with further changes I've made to this fight so that it goes faster. Leave a comment to let me know what you think, or is there anything I could have done different. Thanks for watching.